In this session, we're going to discuss finding the distance and displacement from two graphed points. So if I give you the points of 1, 5, and 3, 0, the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to graph the points. So on 1, 5, I'm going to go over on my x-axis over 1, and then I'm going to move up on my y-axis 5. So I'm going to go 1, and then 1, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my first point. And then my next one is 3, 0, so I'm going to move over 3 spots, and I don't go anywhere on my y-axis. So I have point 1 and point 2. Now, the next thing I have to do is I have to use my delta x formula, and I'm going to use it for delta x and delta y. So basically I'm going to use delta x equals xf minus xi, or another way to see it is x2 minus x1, which still means final minus beginning. So when I run those numbers, I'm going to get x2, which is this one. So it's going to be 3 minus 1, and it's going to give you a positive 2 value. So my delta x is positive 2. I'm going to do the same kind of thing, only now I'm going to use it for delta y. And it's going to be, I'm just going to call it y2 minus y1, and I'm going to have 0 minus 5 to give me a delta y of negative 5. So I'm going to rewrite it over here. So you understand the positive and the negative are only dealing with, they're only dealing with direction. Okay, so if it's positive, it's going to be moving north or east, and if it's negative, it's going to be moving south or west. So now I look back at my original 2 points, and I look at my delta x, and I start with my point 1 way up at the top there, and according to my delta x, it says I have a positive 2. So that means that I'm going to move over 2 spots to the right. And then it says that should be y instead of x. My delta y should be negative 5. So now it's going to come down 5 points. So this is going to be 2, and this is going to be 5. And you can drop the positive and the negative there because the positive and the negative are only indicative of your direction. So I've got my 2 legs of the triangle, and now I'm looking for my displacement, or my hypotenuse. That's what I'm looking for. So then I go and I say, all right, well, how do I find the hypotenuse? The easiest way I know to find the hypotenuse is to use Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to use c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So c squared equals a, which I'll make 2. So that'll be 2 squared plus 5 squared. So it'll be 2 squared plus 4, or equals 4 plus 25. C squared equals 29, and I want to take the square root of 29. And I find that when I do that, my C equals 5.39. So that displacement is 5.39. Now, distance is total length traveled. Displacement is the shortest distance between 2 points. So I'm going to go ahead and deal with both of them. Let's deal with the distance first. If distance is total length traveled, so the distance traveled in this scenario, all you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 units traveled going east, and then the 5 units traveled south, and the total is going to be 7 total units. Now, your displacement, we've already found the number or the magnitude of it. We've already found it to be 5.39. You still have to add a direction, and since you're dealing with that particular direction, it's going to be southeast. You have to include a direction for displacement. You do not for distance. Because distance is a number only, it's a scalar quantity, and displacement is a vector quantity, and that means it has magnitude and direction, or a number and direction. So So I hope this has been helpful, but again, when you're looking at this, you're going to plot your points first, then you're going to find your delta x and your delta y. That's going to help you make your triangle. Then you're going to find your hypotenuse, and that will give you your displacement. Make sure to, when you're determining the direction of the motion, that you're moving from your first point to your second point, and that will determine your direction. When you add your delta x and your delta y together as absolute numbers, then that will give you your distance, and then your displacement, your hypotenuse, and make sure to include a direction with your displacement. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks.